right. So let's share a little bit how was our journey to get to our marriage,
Mm-hmm.
our little family.
Yeah, yeah.
After all the childhood experiences, making our little thing. So, how was it that we first came in contact for the first time? I mean, was raised in South America and you were raised in South India.
Mm-hmm.
And did you ever imagine you would marry a German plus a Hispanic plus like
No,
how did
I.
we choose each other? How did we cross our ways? Okay, so how was it that we started to form this little story of ours? And what was the first things you noticed in me that you liked?
So when I was coming back to work, or when I actually moved from Maine to Virginia, I honestly did not think that I was wanting to be in a relationship. I was wanting to be more focused on my work and doing things that is going to keep me more occupied and help me develop in my personal growth. The first time when I saw you, I saw the muscles that you had. I'm like, wow, look at the muscles she has. Because you helped me with lifting the dining table made out of wood.
It was heavy.
It was heavy. And then I was like, wow, she is strong. But of course, it was just some observation. It was not like, oh, she'll be great as a wife or a girlfriend. But as the days went by and I learned about you, how you were very sincere in what you did, how you were very helpful, you wanted to make sure that everyone felt welcomed, everyone felt belonged. It really impressed me to know that, okay, this girl is not prideful. This girl is not like some hard person to talk to. It made it easy because a lot of girls try to play hard to get, just even to have a conversation. I remember couple instances. It didn't happen to me personally, but I remember this guy who actually opened doors for this girl. He opened once and then they went in for a class and then they came to another place and then he opened door for her and then she was like, "Oh, what is going on? Are you interested in me? Is that why you're opening the doors for me?" And then he said, "I was just trying to be a gentleman. I was just trying to be a gentleman in opening the door. If opening the door is making you to feel like I'm interested in you, I'm sorry, I won't open doors for you." And then with another girl, another person, they both walked from after finishing their class and then they were going to enter into a room. This girl waits and then the guy was confused, like, what is she expecting me to do? She says, "Oh, you need to open the door because you're the guy, be a gentleman." Those things are all really awkward. If the guy is opening the door for you, well and good. If he's not opening the door for you, you can open the door and go. Different people are in different stages. They all come from different backgrounds, different way of lifestyle. But with you, it was very easy to connect with you. I didn't feel like I had to be this macho person. I didn't feel like I have to pretend to be someone or too over caring or any of those things. I could be a good friend with you. And that impressed me a lot. And I think that is something that a lot of girls need to learn. Just be more accessible in terms of being good friends. You don't have to be too uptight. You don't have to be too easy that any man can get you. You have to develop that kind of mindset where people can find it easy to become friends with you, because in any relationship, the friendship has to first start. Even the term girlfriend, boyfriend, that is where it comes up. And you have to be more easy to be connecting so the guys will feel like, okay, I can connect with you. And that is how I felt with you. And other things were you love to cook, you love to take care of people, and how tender you were when some things happened. You would empathize for them, empathize with them actually. And those were the things that impressed me. And to top it all off, two things. One is your spirituality, how grounded you were in your spiritual life, how when we would go to church and your answers, people really appreciated your answers. That also was very impressive in terms of you having so much knowledge and wisdom to answer. It was not just, oh, I have to answer, so I answered. But when you felt convicted, you would give an answer, and it blew my mind away and a lot of church members' minds away as well. So that is one thing. Another thing is the way you dress. One extreme is very provocative and half naked, and oh, you are a man, who are you to tell me? That's true. Who am I to tell you? But at the same time, I have my own judgments, I have my own decisions. If you're going to wear provocatively, I'm not going to go for someone that is going to dress provocatively unless I have different types of intentions. And the other one is going to another extreme where I'm fully covered and nothing can be seen, and nothing can, like, nothing, there is
There's no
nothing,
beauty.
there is no beauty in it. There is, you cannot be attracted to anything like that. But with you, you dressed very modestly, but you had a sense of style. You knew how to dress, how to wear certain combinations, and all of that. I appreciated that. So those two top everything else, but others are also very important for me.
Wow. Well, I feel humbled and I feel grateful that God um, guided, shined through me in those things, because honestly, when you say how I spoke or the wisdom I would say, it's God. I would say it's not me. And but yeah, it also takes time to study, to learn from the Lord, and to allow Him to teach us and to impress in our hearts things. So, well, praise the Lord for those things that you saw that were attractive. And I think that when you were saying that sometimes as girls, we can make it overly hard, or like we have absolutely no worth. If you say I give you 2 pennies, you say I go with you. So I think that's the struggle of every lady. To find that balance, and I think it comes with your confidence of who you are as well. Like I always was a friendly girl, but I think then you struggle with, if someone likes you, that means you have a special price. It's like, oh, I'm special if someone likes me, and you might fall for anyone that likes you because your worth might be on who likes you. And I went through my times of that I was confused at times with that, because I felt like, I'm not maybe as beautiful like other girls, or I might not be as smart like other girls. So when someone likes me, that means that's my opportunity to go with it. But I think that devalues who you are and your beauty. When you are depending on someone else's judgment, because today they'll be, how nice, I like you, and then tomorrow they'll be, I don't really see you as anything special, or actually you're not what I want at all, and then you're left in the ground. So that's the challenge as we find our identity, I think, as ladies, day by day, learning to find it, and then to be more easygoing and normal. Because when we try to be something we are not, like we try to be more proper, or we try to be more attractive, or we try to be more flirty, yes, we might get some attention, but we have to put up a face. But when we're just who we are, the one that really likes us for who we are, then we can build that friendship that is based on reality and not an appearance. And I would say that kind of went for me as well with you. It wasn't like something fake or forced, but just natural, organically growing. So
what were the things that attracted you to me?
So for me, I think the first thing was the first conversation we had actually over the table, kind of like now. But the very first time, like on a public setting, just over lunch, we were talking, and then yeah, first I thought, how is it going to be? Because with some people, you talk, you ask a question, then it's like, yeah, no, or they're awkward. Even how they look at you or how they interact is like, I don't know if we really connect. But with you, there was a connection. Like we can have a good conversation. And I feel like we're friends from years ago, but actually, we just met. And that for me was like, whoa, I feel really. And then we started talking about meaningful things like our conversion stories, what we had, studied, our professions, and our likes, and our values, and our life experiences, and miracles that had happened, and just highlights of our journey in the health field and with friends. And so I was like, whoa, we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of interesting things. So I think having that conversation that was flowing, it's what first gave me feel like I found a friend that I didn't know I had.
All right. I'm glad you felt that way.
So, but not necessarily you would marry a friend, but as you said, I always thought I would marry a best friend. Like I wouldn't just marry a random person because for me, friendship is the foundation of marriage. Without a friendship, if you are married to someone for the rest of your life and you're not friends, you're just lovers or just roommates, like there's no point in that. I wanted to, that we could have fun, that we could laugh, that we could open our heart, that we could be ourselves and be appreciated. And so I kind of felt that. So then the more we interacted with others, I would see as well your character, how you treated others, what others spoke about you, how they value and respected your character, your honesty. And I just was like, wow, he seems like a person of principle, a person that has certain values that I also admire. So I started to admire how you thought and how you, your patience and your also willingness to serve and your humbleness to be led by others, even, maybe younger than you or that, were at your same level, but you would allow others to tell you and listen. So I was like, wow, he's a humble person. He's willing to serve and very happy. That was another thing. Cheerful, happy, making jokes and just enjoying life. And you were not like depressed and gloomy and making others get gloomy as well, but bring smiles in other people's lives. And so I started to feel like, wow, this is a very special person. I am admiring this new friend. And I started actually praying and asking God, I kind of see in him what I've been praying for. I see someone with certain values, with a character, with a connection we have. And if this is the person you have for me, put that love in his heart. And don't let me fall in love alone. That was a fear I had because I was like, sometimes there might be nice Christian people and you might feel that's what I prayed for, but then they're not interested. And so you're hurt because emotionally you might be creating hopes, maybe just because of your dreams or because others create open doors for you to think that it's mutual, but it's not. So I was like, ooh, who knows? Who knows what is in his heart? And I just want, if this is God's will, to be in both. And if it's not God's will, I don't want to keep growing emotionally, dreaming and thinking if this is not. So in my heart, I was praying. I asked close friends, family, pray. I feel this way, but I only want God's will. And then I decided in my mind, unless a guy would clearly express his feelings, I would just be a good friend and be open to that journey of organic growth, naturally to develop. But if through a certain time that naturally would grow but not be defined, I would move away just not to keep falling in love alone. That was my personal decision.
Yeah, and that is fair. It is never right for someone to be in love and the other person not, and it is also sad when people like They be with you, they behave in friendly way, too friendly, but then all of that is just to be friends and nothing more than that. I think it damages other people's feelings as well, because when you're too friendly, for me, I was very clear. If I'm going to be friendly with this girl, I'm going to be in a relationship with her. And so that helped for me and for you.
Yeah, definitely for me as well. I was willing to let it grow because I knew I was open unless God showed no for more than just a friend. If not, it's not necessarily the best to be so open if you are not thinking anymore. You never know what the other person is. Maybe I didn't have feelings and I just wanted a buddy and a close friend, but maybe you were having those feelings and then you would be let down.
Yes.
So that was an important aspect that, and thankfully we were both unknowingly in the same page.
We were mutual.
So, what were some highlights of the journey, or when did you have that confidence after seeing those qualities you liked, then to say, I want to start a relationship, like to be open with me about it?
Yeah, so I was developing these feelings as I was evaluating. I saw the qualities that I have always yearned to see in a girlfriend and for a wife. But there was no specific time where I was like, okay, everything is set. I'm going to move forward. That was not how it was. But as I saw things were getting confirmed in my mind and God was showing, okay, these are the qualities she has. She is this, this, and this. And I was praying. I was talking to my friends. I spoke to my brother. And then I spoke to a couple other people. And then they were they were saying that we would be a good match. And of course, for me, most importantly, it is God. So I had that peace to move forward. So that is when I was like, okay, let me take steps. Oh, why not? Because I know that we both are good friends. I am seeing that she's also interested in me, not just me interested in her. So maybe I should start showing signs that she can start realizing that, okay, this guy is also interested in me. So that is when I started doing certain things where I would make jokes and specifically only for you to realize, because if you noticed, I wouldn't make those statements or jokes with any other girl. There were other single girls, but I wouldn't do that because I wanted to be very clear it was just for you and for you only. So it was not a specific moment where I was like, okay, this is when it is, but it was more of a gradual growth that I saw, and I was more interested in it, and I started taking steps.
I remember those days, definitely. I still remember. And that the friendship grew. I mean, I remember we started by studying German together.
Yes, yes.
German. And we just started to have a lot of things in common. We would exercise together at a group exercise, open class, and then we would get together to do a little German, and then we would talk, and
And then the talking became more and German became less.
yes.
And we came to the point where, man, there is no time for learning German. We were talking all this time. But, yeah.
So I guess that was a good sign. We had a lot to share, and that connection that it was from day one, it just grew. It grew, and then our understanding and knowledge of each other grew through work, friends in common, through spending time, just as friends with others and by ourselves. And then when you actually told me your interest, well, you started first giving those signs of like flirting signs of jokes or comments. They were pretty clear, but since in my mind I had determined I will not fall for anything, any sign. I just want the clear words and statement, like come up front and tell me your feelings, and then I can decide. I mean, like I can be open as well. So I was praying and praying. I was like, Lord, it really sounds like, it looks like this guy is really interested in me. I feel like you've put that desire in his heart as well. So there were 2 weeks that you were more intentional in that I can remember. And then I was praying hard, like, Lord, just let it come to the light. Let it come fully to the light with my request that he will be straightforward with me and not, go month by month with flirting styles because you were intentional. But many other times nowadays, especially, it's very common to just have the flirting game just for the fun of it. Just to interact and to have the butterflies without any commitment or maybe even an interest. It's just the game that it's fun to flirt. So I was like, I don't think he's like that, but you never know. And I don't want to fall from the cloud thinking he was so interested and really liking me to fall and be like, oh no, you were just a cool friend. And then it's
Yeah.
like all of those signs were just for playing. So I was kind of, I don't want to go into this game. So I was praying, Lord, make it clear. And after those 2 weeks, yes, you open up to me and you share. And how was that for you as a guy? Were you scared to be open? Because I've heard a lot as well that guys are scared to be rejected, or from the girl side, they might be showing signs, but they're just wanting to be friends. So both ways they can super confuse. So what are we doing as young people? We're just messing each other up.
I love this part because people keep saying that, oh, I was not sure, like men, they say, I was not sure if she will accept my love or not. I was very nervous and all of that. Honestly, I did not have any of those things, and I will tell you the reason why, which you also know.
That's good, a reminder.
When I played this love song, the Tamil love song for you, you asked me so innocently, you asked me, so I love the song, what does it say? And I was trying to be very careful, not come out too openly, but just gave you few hints here and there. I gave you a vague.
Subconsciously plant seeds in another language.
But when you asked to send you the song, I sent it because I thought that you were just going to listen to it, you're going to enjoy it. So I was very happy. But at that restaurant, when we all went as a group and you shared that, yeah, when you sing that Tamil song, I know what you're meaning by it because I translated it in Google and I took all the translation. I don't know if you saw my reaction or my friend's reaction. We both looked at each other and we were like,
Yeah, you were shocked.
she knows? She knows the meaning of this song? Because that is one of my favorites. I am not usually into love songs, but I'm very picky with love songs, and that is one of my favorites.
And love songs, Indian love songs, I've noticed they're very poetic. They're more like from songs of Psalms,
Songs of Solomon.
Solomon, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're very poetically and like more elevated and beautiful, not degraded and like all.
There are songs. There
I
are
guess,
songs.
yeah, but there are some that are
Yeah,
very
very
beautiful.
poetic,
so
and
that was one of those.
yes, that was one of those. I'm really not interested in songs that are too erotic or stuff like that. I'm very more interested in how the music is and how the poetic part of it is explained in that song. When the girl is talking about the guy or the guy is talking about the girl, I appreciate more of that. So when we both found out, my friend and I found out that you know the meaning of the song, we were shocked. But the next day, while I was working in the kitchen, I was doing the dishes, and I was talking to this guy. We were like, yeah, she knows the meaning of the song, but she's not upset with you, which means she's also interested. That was a great giveaway. And it also helped me to not be so much wondering. I did have understanding that you were interested in me, but this topped it all off. And I didn't have to be like, oh, I don't know if she's still interested or not, or if she's going to talk to me or not, because I don't know when you translated it, but even after translation, you were still fine with me. So that gave me the extra boost. Okay, let's not waste time. Let's start the relationship right away. So that is how it was. And then when I opened up with you as well, I did not feel any fear or nervous. I know there is a lot of men that feel nervous when they open up. For me, honestly, of course, number one, God gave me the confidence, I would say. And number two, you gave me the confidence because we were good friends. I truly know that it was our friendship that we developed made me to open up to you freely without being like, oh, what is going to happen or how is she going to react or what she's going to think. So it definitely helped that we had that strong friendship where I can openly share with you my heart to know what is in your heart. And that is why I was also very clear. If you had said no, I would have backed off. I wouldn't be like trying to force you into being in the relationship. But I really appreciated the fact that you also reciprocated during that time.
Definitely it feels good when it's mutual, for sure. It has to
Absolutely.
be. If not, there's no way to move forward. But love is a risk. It's
It
not
is.
a freebie.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to give some type of risk.
Mm-hmm.
And either you stay hoping that something happened forever with the fear that maybe it won't, and you just never try, or you through prayer. And I love what you said, God gave you that confidence. Like, if God gives that confidence to speak, whatever happens is also in His hands and He will help. And is it better
Exactly.
to hope that something would happen and never give a step, or give a step and know with clarity how things go by God's grace, if the other person is also clear. But yeah, it's worth it to take the risk when you know God is leading you. If it's by yourself, it's more alone. You take a risk also with your own understanding. But if you've been praying, you know that even if it works or it doesn't work or it works for a time and then things take a different direction, God is with you all along.
Exactly.
And that gives confidence.
And that is also comforting.
And for me, because I was not playing with like the process, building the friendship and letting the friendship grow, I was not blocking it, I was open to it. It was because I was open to more than just a friendship. So when you open up, I was so thankful. And actually, I was like, oh, thank you for being so open. And I didn't answer your question right away.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I have shared, but here you are thanking me that I am open and I shared my heart, but she is not sharing what is in her heart.
Gratefulness was the first thing in my heart. I was like, thank God. Yeah, my biggest thing at the moment was gratefulness. I was like,
Yes.
oh, praise the Lord. This guy really knows what he wants, and he's being clear and honest, and at the same time not pushy and guilt tripping me if I'm not, doing things his way or matching with what he's expecting or wishing. So it was so natural, and I had been praying for it as well from before, so it kind of felt like answered prayer. And yes, I said, yes, I'm open, because I didn't have to say I'm going to go and pray, because we
Yes.
were already friends. And I had been praying from my side, God, please make it clear. So for me, this was answered prayer. And that was
Yeah.
that was beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It was beautiful for me too. And to answer your question, like, was I nervous? I was definitely not nervous because you gave me the assurance before itself. You were more friends with me. You were very clear, distinct from other guys. You had a distinct relationship with me. Though we were still friends, you made it clear that there is a difference between other guys and me. And
Definitely.
I hope I did the same thing to you as well, because I was very intentional too, to show that I was more interested in you. And all the other girls, I was not interested. However, what helps the guys is that when girls are really open, as how you were, you don't avoid, you don't escape, or you don't try to give mixed signals, but be very clear. If you're interested, you're interested. If you're not interested, you're not interested. If you're not interested, act that way. Don't be all lovey-dovey and falling on the guy and constantly hitting on his shoulder and flirting with him, and then don't come and say you're not interested in him. You know. And at the same time, if you're interested in him, show it to him, express it to him. I love how you would write cute little notes and different things you would do, and that was helpful for me as well. So, from guy's perspective, it is always very important, at least as far as a lot of men that I've met, it is important for a girl to be very clear if she is interested or not, and she has to act accordingly.
No, those are very important points. And I remember now that you said the little notes, we were just friends, but as a friend, and if you feel more, it's going to be natural that it's going to overflow in trying to maybe buy a little gift. And sometimes you would go with your friends, but bring me a little Indian food. But you will always put like nothing romantic for sure, but like a genuine friend, hope you enjoy it from the Indians or from the Indian. You were not
Yes.
like, oh, hugs Martin or, with
Kisses,
love or
yeah.
whatever, love Martin. You never use romantic language like of love, but of friendship, of care. And that was very meaningful to me. He really, it's a caring person, but he's also respecting. Like, he's not overly throwing himself, but at the same time, he's giving me hints, but I won't completely take them. So that was like the challenging route, but definitely we both were serious about it.
Yes.
And something that I would definitely tell girls as well, when you are not sure is he really into or not, if the guy is, and I've seen this in other friends and their marriage with their husbands, and also in my own experience, when the guy is actually ready to move forward, he will give the steps. If the guy is not ready, he's undecisive, he's playing like, yes, I'm here, but I'm not ready, he might not be ready, period. I mean, that's a clear sign he's not ready.
Yes.
So if the guy's not moving forward, it's because he's not ready, either personally or he has questions and not so sure about you, or other situations. So step back, let things go, and trust God. Wait on the Lord, because waiting on the person, like, okay, maybe he's not ready, but I'm gonna wait for him for years, that doesn't work, because they might take a different direction. They might not be the person God has for you. So never wait on a person. If you're going to step back or give space, just wait on the Lord. And keep moving forward with your head up. Keep learning. Keep becoming the person God wants you to be. And be open if God brings that person back to you or someone else. Because we don't know the future, only God does. So waiting on a person, it's losing time, energy, and emotions. But waiting on the Lord never fails. He will lead us. So that would be my greatest thing. And I heard this from a couple that I've been inspired by their experience as well. And they said, if a guy is going around the bush, not being clear, he's not ready. And they said, just dump them. In a sense, just let it go. And that helped me, because I struggle so much with that. Like, maybe I need to be more patient. Maybe I need to give them more time. Maybe this, maybe that. And God doesn't call us for that, and each experience and story is different, so it might be unique, but as a general recommendation, it was very relieving for me to know that I don't have to be waiting on the journey of someone, but that I can be clear. If the guy is sure, he will move forward. If he is not clear, then don't try to push it or manipulate, because that might not be the time or the person.
That's right.
So-
That's right. Anyway, hope you were uplifted with our podcast for this topic, and we pray that you will be benefited. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comment section, so we will be able to answer them when it is needed.
Yes, or any suggestion of topics that you think it's needed to be spoken about and that we can share. So yeah, thank you for joining. Make sure to subscribe and share, give it a thumbs up, so that we can keep producing more content. And definitely we want to thank also people that have inspired us and encouraged us to do this. They have been pleased do some podcasts and
Yes,
please
yes.
share your story. So thank you for inspiring us to start.
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you for each and everyone that has been supportive of our journey as well. And again, the reminder is our podcast name is Happily Ever After. It doesn't mean it is some dream phrase, but it can happen to you just as it is happening for us. And how can it happen? Only when two souls work together and try to make it happen with God's grace,
Amen.
we will be happily ever after. See you soon.
See you next time.